We are live.
We're live. Hello, Sir David Porter. How are
We're
you?
we're live. The Porter brothers are live again. I'm doing
We are live
fantastic.
again.
Yes. How are you, Bruce?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining us. Let me just see if we are live on TV. Yeah, I know we got a little bit of a lead in. Almost live. Thanks for joining us on our streams on YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and the other places where we stream this. Obviously, Impact.live. You can always catch it on our Global Boost with Dr. No and the ST. We are now live in Texas. Thank you in Texas and Louisiana for tuning in again. Monday through Friday, we are here at 5 a.m. your time as well as 11 a.m. 5 a.m. is Impact Money Show. And of course, 11 a.m. is the Porter Brothers.
Yes, we get that early bird look at the stocks, at the crypto market in the US there. And we take a dive at the market analysis, looking at the charts and charting using AI algorithms and all types of experience, decades of experience, and we have been killing it.
It is. It really is quite a fun thing, fun and interesting thing. Well, really interesting stuff. I was just on X, one of my favorite places, right? And I was looking over some of the Tucker stuff. And Tucker is, I don't know, it's some, I guess this must be a Jewish sponsored event or something. And they're really trying to grill him. And he's just like, well, everything's supposed to be so bad everywhere. But he said, I just put it out there. He said, it's radicalizing for an American to go to Moscow, Singapore, Tokyo, or Dubai, or Abu Dhabi, because these cities, no matter how we're told they're run, on what principles they're run, are wonderful places to live, no rampant inflation, and you're not going to get raped. I'll play that in a second. But Russia does not have a central bank.
Well, isn't that one of the key features of maybe why they keep getting attacked by Western media?
I wonder if that's why. Huh. And actually, we've been to Moscow, and he's right. It's a great city. And Singapore, he's right. Wonderful city. Dubai and these other places, and of course, they have central banks. But point is that New York City, that was one of the things when I was growing up, I was always told that, like, oh my gosh, these other places were so dangerous. Mm-hmm. And, then here I am on the East Coast. I'm in Philly. I'm in New York City. I'm in D.C. I saw my first dead person in D.C. I had to walk right by him. I was 18 years old. Guy had just gotten shot a couple of blocks from the Capitol.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I had to walk by the person. Wow. I mean, if you're a guy, and of course LA, same, what I mean, all these crazy cities, Detroit, all these places. So if you're an American that has been around your country and been to some shady places like I have, I realized as I started going around the world that actually we were the most dangerous place. It was more dangerous here than it was other places. And that's what you start to realize as you go around. And then the other part that people don't realize is they think that we're free here. They go, oh, but we're free. But then you go to a place like Portugal, and I don't know what their laws are, guys. Okay, I don't know all their laws, but I can tell you this. The apparatus to enforce those laws is null. It's like, there's nothing there. So I go down to Miami and I have a dinner on the boardwalk or whatever. It's not a boardwalk there in Miami, but the street there. And there's an obvious police presence. There's blue lights flashing everywhere. There's police everywhere.
Rough.
It's rough.
They sit there with their lights flashing the whole time. And
they don't even turn their lights off. That's how DC is too. You can't go out of DC. I stopped going out of DC. It's a constant police state. So
it's a bit of a threat.
It's a big threat. So you think that you're free, but it is an illusion. You have an illusion of freedom because you're not. You do one wrong thing, and guys, they can just think you did the wrong thing. And you're up in cuffs and in the back of a car faster than you can say whatever. And you better not resist, because if you resist, then you're really in trouble.
That is the whole other part of it, right? They can make an accusation and you're guilty until proven innocent.
You're guilty until proven innocent. Meanwhile,
and that's if you're even able to prove innocent.
That's if you're even able to prove innocence. Meanwhile, you go to some of these other countries, you go into the Caribbean or into Latin America or into lots of places in Europe and other places, and they leave you alone, guys. So, I mean, don't get in trouble, but don't get in trouble here either. So they live much more free in a lot of other countries. And I don't know how we really did it to ourselves, but we really did. Here's that clip of our friend there. Let's see here, right here. I think it is. There's another one too I'm going to play. But this is good.
I don't think the average person cares as much about abstractions as about the concrete reality of his life. And if you can't use your subway, for example, as many people are afraid to in New York City because it's too dangerous, you have to sort of wonder, isn't that the ultimate measure of leadership? And that's true, by the way, it's radicalizing for an American to go to Moscow. I didn't know that, I've learned it this week, to Singapore, to Tokyo, to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Because these cities, no matter how we're told they're run and on what principles they're run, are wonderful places to live that don't have rampant inflation, where you're not going to get raped.
Sir, excuse me.
What is that? I don't think the average person cares as much about abstractions as about the concrete reality of his life.
So you see it too. He's like, excuse me. Don't say that.
Yeah. That guy doesn't look like he's taken a walk in a long time.
That guy needs to take a walk. Off the stage. Here, I got more for you here. I'm loading it up. We have the military-industrial complex, and the central bank's been running this. And that's another thing about the play, Annie. I got it. It's like we're doing all kinds of. It's based from early 1930s, and so you have everything going on, and they just did. Here's another clip. I mean, these clips are just these things you just can't really get any better than this. Hold on, did that work? Let me see here. I'm not sure if this is the one I want, but even if it's not, this one's good too. Here he is. Oh yeah, they're just dying over Tucker. They just can't believe that Tucker was allowed. That he was allowed in our police state to go to Moscow and interview somebody with an opposing view.
Yeah.
Here's pretty. More. I mean, this stuff is just.
Your acting skills are really up.
I've been acting a lot in my play, Annie. I have like I don't know 5 costume changes.
Nice.
I'm gonna get some photos, and I'm gonna photos and videos. My wife last night, I was like, "Well, honey, can you send me some photos and videos that you took?" And she's like, "Well, no, she didn't tell me no." My wife's so funny, right? Okay, yeah. But I know her. She doesn't want to send them to me because she doesn't want to be out. She doesn't want to be told not to do it. So she's not going to send them to me. I can share this after the shows, which is another week or two. So I have to get the contraband. You need to get the contraband to share it with everybody. Okay, but here we go. Here's your buddy, the guy who needs to take he looks like he ate a few too many burgers here. This guy, he just can't get over himself, whoever he is.
In your business. It's not for me to give you a lecture about that, but you should challenge some ideas. For instance, you didn't talk about freedom of speech in Russia. You did not talk about Navalny, about assassinations, about the restrictions on opposition in the coming elections.
I didn't talk about the things that every other American media outlet talks about.
Why?
Exclusively,
Yes, this is
because
my
those
question.
are covered, and because I have spent my life talking to people who run countries in various countries and have concluded the following: that every leader kills people, including my leader. Every leader kills people. Some kill more than others. Leadership requires killing people. Sorry, that's why I wouldn't want to be a leader. That press restriction is universal in the United States. I know because I've lived it. I've asked my former, I've had a lot of jobs. And I've done this for 34 years and I know how it works. And there's more censorship in Russia than there is in the United States, but there's a great deal in the United States. And so, at a certain point, it's like people can decide whether they think, what countries they think are better, what systems they think are better. I just want to know what he thinks.
Get this man off the stage. Tucker should be silenced. Close down X.
Where is that World Government Conference taking place?
I mean, it's all in Hebrew or something, isn't it? Or am I misplacing the? Oh, you're right. That's not Hebrew. It looks like Arabic or something, right? World Governments Summit. I'll tell you real quick. Hold on. World.
By Singapore, huh?
It could be. Location. Let me just make it easy for myself. Dubai. I thought I recognized. But Dubai's nice. So he's over there in Dubai. But yeah, Dubai's nice.
Dude, when you first get to Dubai, you're like, oh, wow, that's nice.
Maybe these guys don't have it all wrong.
They definitely have some things right.
That's what you really start to think to yourself. Maybe we don't have it all right. Maybe there's something to what these guys are doing. It's very nice. It's very safe. It's so safe. You can leave your $1,500 iPhone or whatever phone, smartphone on the bar, forget about it, leave in the cab, go to the next place and be like, oh my gosh, I forgot it. Go back and it's still sitting there.
Yeah, that's nice. That part is nice.
It's really nice. It is. It's really nice.
Yeah. You do need to punish your criminals. It goes a long way.
Punish your criminals goes a long way. They don't have that stuff. They don't have that stuff going on over there. So here, I have another clip loaded up here. Let me just since we're on a roll here, and I think we just went to commercial in Texas and Louisiana. So I'll play this one again probably in a minute. Yeah, we did. So we'll be back on there in a couple minutes. But let me play this now for our live viewers.
What are you playing?
Oh, do I need to add it to the stage?
Something like that.
Something like that? Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Our man, Tucker, the great Tucker Carlson.
He's the man of the last few months, for sure.
I mean, who knew? Who knew?
Sykes-Picot are two of the worst agreements ever struck. So I hope whatever comes out of this is nothing like those. But first things first, Putin wants to get out of this war. He's not going to become more open to negotiation the longer this goes on. One of the things we've learned in the course of the last 2 years is that Russia's industrial capacity is a lot more profound than we thought it was. I mean, Russia's Russia, this country we were assured was a gas station with nuclear weapons, has a pretty easy time making missiles, rockets, and artillery shells, whereas NATO doesn't. So we should think about what that means. One.
We should think about, guys, look. World War II killed like 55 million people or something like that. 50 million. 50 million people. And these guys, they want to cull humanity. They want to bring our 8 billion population down to at least 2 billion. And here we go into World War III. Let's bomb them. Annihilate them. I mean, Israel was one of the largest sponsors of this bread and circus that most of you guys watched last night. The NFL. I haven't watched I never watched them. I never was into that. I was never into that bread and circus. Never got into it. Dad, I guess he brought us up different. I have no idea. It was never entertaining for me. Now, a good hockey game, that's a different story. Okay, good ice hockey game. But anyway. And then while they did that, and while they paid for you to eat your bread and circus, they went and bombed Rafah, which is like a tent city, guys. It's a tent city. They bombed tents. They're 14-year-old girls with their legs blown off.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It's terrible. And, so now I just, kind of fresh off the press here, Egypt is now moving a lot of their missiles over to the border. A lot of these guys, you got Saudi Arabia now, has been basically, their hand has been forced into this. They really did not want to get involved. They still don't want to get involved. Of course, we have the petrodollar, which has been kind of being pushed off. And I want to welcome everybody back in Texas and Louisiana as well. But, that's, it's, guys, we are barreling into World War III. And let me check my numbers here. How many people died in World War II? $15 million military personnel and civilian deaths of 38 million. Over 50 million people. And guys, we have nukes. Like everybody's got nukes now. Everybody's got nukes. You got Kim Jong-un. Oh man, and they're gonna want to provoke that guy, because again, guys, they want to cull humanity. They think that they want to bring the human population down a lot. It's not like it's like stated. Like these are known facts. But 50 million people died in World War II. Well, how many people do you think are going to die in World War III? Let's think about this. So how many people died in World War I? World War I. Another 60 million. Total. Wait a minute. Hold on. Around 40 million. 20 million deaths and 21 million. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Total number of deaths. The total number of military and civilian casualty of World War I was around 40 million. Civilian in, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. And we, of course, the Senate pushed forward this bill. It's an abomination of a bill. $98 billion. $98 billion in aid, they're calling it. In aid. And that goes to the Ukraine and that goes to Israel to kill more people. And they're going to take it from you. And we had our good friend Matt on this morning. And Matt, I love Matt to death, but he tells us our economy is good sometimes. I don't really agree with him. We're in the same shape as we were before. I love Matt, but not really. I don't know. Your little graph shows there sometimes. I can tell you we're a lot worse off than we were before. And the dollar has been inflating much faster than than wages have been. That was a bit of the argument, I think, this morning.
Yeah. Well, also the fact that you aren't able to save as well and do the normal things to plan for retirement off a job.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, the old, the way things used to work is totally different. A house that cost $15,000, when your parents were starting off, is now $1 million. $1 million, $15,000 to $1 million, and your mom didn't work, or your grandma, brother.
Yeah, and I think it does go into the retirement is where you're really going to be hurting.
Well, that's the other thing. So then you have your quote unquote Social Security. It's unbelievable how much. And when I talk about the tax rate too, guys, so the tax rate is the government spending rate. The government's budget is always balanced. It's always balanced. There's no such thing as an unbalanced budget. Every dollar that's spent, they take from you. And they either take it from taxing you or they take it from inflation. And there's something else that I have to look in as well. And that is that the amount of federal income tax collected every year is the amount of the debt that we pay the central bank. And I need to research that a little bit more, but I can tell you it rings pretty true because last year, anecdotally, last year, what we were paying on the debt was around $900 billion. And what did we take in? We took about $900 billion in income tax. And this year, what we're paying on the $34 trillion in debt is about $1.6 trillion. And guess how much they're projecting that we bring in on federal income tax?
I think it's like 1/5 of that.
No, it's 1.6 trillion. They're planning to bring in the exact amount that we have to pay the central bank to borrow the paper money that we don't need to borrow. The exact amount that we pay to service the quote unquote loan from the central bank is what they're going to take in from the federal income tax. And I have to research it a little bit more, but I think that rings true. So every year, your federal income tax just goes to the bankers. And when I say the bankers, it just goes to a few families. There's a few families that control that. It's a privately held entity. The central bank's a privately held entity. The Federal Reserve.
Yep. Yeah, it's not our country profiting off of it.
No. We don't profit off of it. And that's where Putin, so Putin's like, well, 2% inflation is not so bad or something. They said it was acceptable for Americans right now. But you got to realize he's the one keeping the inflation. So since he doesn't have a central bank, when he inflates the money, he takes it. The government takes it. Russia takes the money, not the central bank. Same thing with Syria. And that's why, of course, we're just always trying to down these people. And that's why, of course, we went after Gaddafi so hard. Omar Gaddafi wasn't really hurting anybody. He actually rented an empty lot from Trump way back in the day in New York City, where Trump was going to do a big he had a project that he was going to build. So I guess he contacted Trump and he said, I want to rent this property. And he's like, well, there's nothing there. He goes, no, there's no problem. I'm going to set up a tent and I'm going to stay there. Omar Gaddafi, the late, great Omar Gaddafi. And that's what he did. He rented the plot of land there in New York City and he set up a huge teepee. And he stayed there in New York City during the UN General Assembly.
Interesting. And then wasn't it during Trump's presidency that they ordered a strike on him?
No, that was Omar Gaddafi. Hillary Clinton did him.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. he announced basically that he was shutting down the central bank, that he was going to have a gold-backed currency. And that was it. He had to go. Central bankers said, that's it. Guys, the central bank runs our country. And that's the other reason why, this bill passed the Senate. And of course, Speaker Mike Johnson should stop it, and the Republicans should stop it. But they have such a slim majority right now. Especially they got rid of the guy in New York. They're all crooks, but he was a bigger crook, I guess, or he was a different kind of crook. And so they got rid of him. And so now the majority is even slimmer. And, it only takes a couple of these guys to vote, one way or the other to really get the bill passed. And there's so much money on the line. Like when I tell you there's so much money, it's so much money. Can you imagine what your commission on a $100 million deal is? Can you imagine, let's just say you're here in Washington like us, and you know somebody, and okay, and then they end up getting a contract for $1 billion. What do you think your finder's fee is? Think you can retire on that? Yep. Maybe not if you leave it in US dollars. Speaking of that, at cost metals, you can buy gold, silver, palladium, platinum at cost. At the cost of the dealers, it's a club. You join the club, it's like Costco. You join the club, and you can buy gold, silver, palladium, platinum at cost. Go to atcostmetals.club, and you can join right there. And, who knows what's going to happen? Because here's the other part, guys. Iran and these other guys, they're all here. I mean, these people are here. We have a very porous border. And a lot of them are here anyway. So how many bombs are we going to pay for over there in Israel? And how many of our own bombs are we going to drop before they respond and they hit us back here in the homeland?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I recall that time when somebody threw their shoe at President Bush. I mean, they're right there, sometimes they're right there.
Sometimes they're right there. You're right. Could have thrown something else.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the markets here a little bit.
Bitcoin's over 50.
All good stuff here. Bitcoin is on a tear. Bitcoin loves war. And there's a number of reasons for that. One of the reasons is that all the guys with their profits, they don't want to leave them in the US dollar. So they take those profits and they put them in Bitcoin. So this is a pretty good indicator that $98 billion bill is going to pass Congress, if it hasn't already. Let's look at that. News. Bill passes the Senate. News. I don't think it's passed the House. I just wanted to make sure as I was speaking that it didn't. It has not passed the House yet. But, guys, look. We don't have any control. We have no control. We have, of course, our election apparatus being what it is. And, we have mail-in ballots, and we have magic electronic machines. I'm in tech. David and I are in tech. We're in tech, guys. Let me tell you what you can do with tech, okay? When it's like that. Now, if they wanted to put it on a blockchain and have some open source code that everybody can look at, push holes in, try to hack, that's something different. But if you're going to have, some machines that, are, these things, this code is corruptible. I played it once. I'll pick it up as well here. After meeting with Iran, Syria to Israel, we are ready for war. Syria, Israel, we must kill more to save hostages. This guy, Ben Guver or whatever, he's a piece of work. He actually said the other day that the kids will be terrorists too. So we have something he said. I don't even want to repeat it. I mean, I think this out of Tucker and NATO have a naive view of Russia. This is Tucker again here. UK to Israel, stop before it's too late. Let's see what this guy has to say here. I'm sharing right here. Boom.
Well, we are very concerned about what is happening in Rafah, because let's be clear, the people there, many of them have moved 4, 5, 6 times before getting there. And it really, we think, is impossible to see how you can fight a war amongst these people. There's nowhere for them to go. They can't go south into Egypt. They can't go north and back to their homes because many have been destroyed. So we are very concerned about the situation, and we want Israel to stop and think very seriously before it takes any further action. But above all, what we want is an immediate pause in the fighting. And we want that pause to lead to a ceasefire, a sustainable ceasefire without a return to further fighting. That's what should happen now. We need to get those hostages out, including the British nationals. We need to get the aid in. The best way to do that is stop the fighting now and turn that into a permanent, sustainable ceasefire.
I think that the big thing here is, David, that people aren't, it's easy to, it's just easy to hit your chest like, let's get them. But, they're people too. They have countries too. And, it's like, it's just, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people. I mean, you take, it's a lot of people, guys. Mm-hmm. Billions of people.
Yeah, Egypt said no, they're not taking them.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's like the other thing. And then the guys, oh, well, nobody wants them, blah, 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 blah. The Palestinians, they don't want you to remove them from where they are. So, yeah, they don't want them, obviously, because obviously taking refugees is hard. You don't want them either. But you're taking them from where they're living. And they don't agree with that. For most people, the Israel that we have today is not the Israel that we had 2,000 years ago. It's a different state. This is a state that we put in, the UN and the UN, really, in the US, though, put this state in 1948. Started actually a little bit before that with the Balfour Agreements. In this place that you can call it whatever you want. Some people called it Palestine. But I don't care what you call it. Put it there. And these people were living there before that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most people don't want to leave their homes.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty natural. Anyway, let's talk more about the markets. The markets. So Bitcoin is pumping. Now, remember, though, that be careful, because markets have a tendency to do what the graphs say they will do. And the graph said that Bitcoin's going to go up here around this 50,000 mark, and then it's going to pull back. And that's what all the charting and everything has said. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. That's what the charting has said. Now, the other part is it could go up way higher and, all these other things. But don't get stuck up there.
Yeah, that's when you go chasing it. It always that's the riskiest move.
That's the riskiest move when you go chasing it. So if I go on the daily here, see this here. So if you buy now, you are chasing. Okay, and you can see it just dropped below 50. But, what could that be? What could catapult? And it may not happen. I mean, that's the other part about it is it may not happen. But, that it could very easily happen. When you see a chart like that, it usually fills in. It fills in. So you have a move and then it fills in, you move, fills in, moves, fills in. And so this would, you would think, fill in before we would take on further highs. And the other thing we were talking about this morning with Matt Dixon and is that over like the longs versus the longs versus the shorts right now in the market are 2.5 times, over 2.5 times. And so it is impossible for these leveraged exchanges to pay out everybody. They can't pay out everybody. And so the market, you would think, has to correct. Now, what is that? Who knows how it will all play out? We don't have a crystal ball and we're not financial advisors, so to be clear. But it could be a nuke. It could be an attack here in the U.S. If they stage a massive attack here in the U.S., let's that could be a catalyst. It could be Iran really hitting back on Israel. It could be Egypt. Like I said, Egypt now has moved their stuff over, missiles. So Iran has moved their missiles. Egypt has moved their missiles over to the border, and we're still paying for all this stuff.
Yes, we are the military-industrial complex.
We are. I used to say that the military-industrial complex ran the United States, but it really isn't. It's central bank, and of course, the military-industrial complex is how they make their money. Let's look at a couple of these other ones here. This is Ethereum. Ethereum here pumping as well. Over 26, it went to 26.20. It hit. Pull back to about 26.01 right now. The Doge, as they call it, the doggy coin, went up to 82, 257. Doggy to $1, David?
Yeah, it's gonna take some time, and Elon's gonna have to go for a big break before he makes that happen.
Elon, come on, Elon, doggy to $1.
I mean, I think $1 billion would do it. $1 billion into the market.
Come on, Elon, just another billion. It's like nothing.
Just buy it up. Just keep buying up.
Just buy up like you did last time. That was great. That pump was really unbelievable. That was what was that 3 years ago? Something like that.
Something like that.
I was out in LA. It just kept going up. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It just kept going up.
Yeah, it was insane.
It was insane. And that's what starts to happen. And that's why the markets are unpredictable. They're predictable to a point, but they're unpredictable. You have the Saudi prince or whatever, and he decides he's going to, buy up Bitcoin to the tune of, a few. That's what's going to happen. We're going to continue going up.
Yeah, and he'll have lots and lots of Bitcoins.
And he'll have lots and lots of Bitcoin. He'll probably never sell any of them.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's what people like. I know the feeling, to be honest. We are on a commercial break over here at Smart Money Culture TV. We'll be back on with them in a minute. I didn't plan for the show to be Tucker Carlson. I think, though, that Tucker Carlson should be VP. I mean, I don't think it should be a choice between Vivek and Kristi Noem.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, you're right.
It's terrible.
I don't think that's not a choice, though. Vivek's not a choice, is he? They're never gonna roll with that.
I don't know. Did you see him? He entered a Mar-a-Lago with him. I mean, if the other choice is Kristi Noem, I mean, these are nice people, guys. But I mean, if something happens to Donald Trump, do you really want this person to be president? And because something could very, very, very well happen to Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope not.
Yeah. He really doesn't have a clear candidate for VP, does he?
He might. But so Iranian back groups have attacked our bases in Syria. I think by the time this whole thing is done, which I hope it's done and doesn't go into World War III, but it's not looking good, guys. It's not looking good. But we're going to be kicked out of Iraq. The embassy, our U.S. embassy in Iraq is like, I mean, I think there's aliens there. Like, it's like so high tech. It's like the most high tech embassy in the world. Like, we spent like billions of dollars on it.
Yeah.
There's actually talk about it, Iraq being one of the places where the aliens are.
Yeah, that's one of the theories, right?
It is one of the theories, yeah.
The Neanderthals.
Oh, I don't know. The Neanderthals?
Yeah, they have the giants. They have the giants there. They have the aliens. That's why we went in to invade Iraq.
I thought it was weapons of mass destruction.
Well, 20 years later.
Guys. Yeah, we laughed, but I mean, we killed 500,000 people in Iraq. And actually, since Iraq, our continued conflicts have killed tens of millions of people.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
It's pretty insane. That was something interesting that Tucker said earlier. Leaders kill people. And he wouldn't want to be a leader because he would not have to kill people. I don't blame him. He wouldn't want to kill people either. I'm always pushing for peace. If it was another side bombing the other side, I'd be pushing for peace with that too. So Super Bowl, I guess we have to talk about Super Bowl a little bit. What were your thoughts on the Super Bowl, David?
Oh, I mean, I didn't pay attention, but I just I wish it was a fair game. It doesn't seem the manuscript was out. Somebody was comparing some of the number coding, and there was like all these codes going on. And the correlations are unreal.
Yeah, they love to do that stuff. I think it becomes it's like the markets too. They become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Everyone thinks it's going to happen, or like, so they want to have different symbolism. I don't know what comes first, the symbolism or the people wanting to have the symbolism. So making sure the symbolism's there. I'm not sure, or if it's both. The Dow is up as well. The Dow Jones Industrials. I think we must be at all-time highs. What are we at here? Year to date, 5 year. We're at all-time highs. We're at all-time highs on the Dow. Oh yeah, dude, this bill's getting through. Welcome back, Texas and Louisiana. Thanks for joining us on the Smart Money Culture Network, the smc.tv. Thanks for joining us here. We have a lot going on there, guys. If you want to get involved, we are building a massive station here. We're reaching millions of people right now, but we plan to reach tens of millions, 50 million target by the end of 2024. If you want to get involved, we're looking for people to write checks, 100,000 or more.
Yeah.
It's like my buddy used to tell me back in the day. Don't pull out your little credit card, okay? Just put your little credit card away, okay? One of our business partners used to tell us, you just put your little credit card away. I got this. But if you are in that, there's trillions actually of disposable income in Texas. And if you're one of those people and you want to make a play with us, we're reaching a couple million people right now. We're going to move that to 50 million people by the end of the year with Smart Money Culture TV. And if you want to get involved, let us know. Go to the smctv.tv or smartmoneyculture.tv and drop us a line and let us know. You have to have You have to be making at least $350,000 a year and have at least $100,000 that you can. Don't make it your last $100,000 now, okay? Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. If you have $200,000 and you want to give us $100,000, okay. All right, that's fine. Or if you have $500,000 and you want to put $250,000 on it. Fly Mackey, the man with the plan, he's out there. He was out there at the Super Bowl last week, this week, today, yesterday. He was there. The NASDAQ up 1/3%. Gold. What's gold doing? Gold. Gold down a bit, about 1/3% down. Now, this is interesting because I talked about this morning. Before I do that, let me just look at silver because I'm already here. Silver is holding some gains, up about 0.75%. But if you look at the central banks buying gold, the central banks have been buying a lot of gold. They've been on a gold buying frenzy. India and Turkey's central bank starts the new year buying gold. Central banks have been buying gold at record paces. Gold demand to hit records with central bank buying. Central bank summer buying continues. Central bank gold buying in 2023 topped 1,000 tons. Why central banks buy gold? Why central banks are buying? It says and selling gold. China leads record central bank gold buying for the first time. The World Gold Council blistering central bank buying fuels and strong gold demand. You know why they're doing that? Because your paper money is basically worthless. It's a tool. It's a debt tool, and you can use it right now. One day it'll go to zero, and they're inflating all your money, so they want the gold. So you can have the gold too. Go to atcostmetals.club, sign up with our referral link. You can buy gold, palladium, platinum, silver at cost. At cost. Now, the reason I talked about the central banks is because they are keeping the price of gold down with futures. And the way that works, if you're not familiar with the markets, just run through it very quickly. The way the future markets work is they allow you to trade, and that's actually how the price is set. It's set with the futures market. They allow you to trade futures, which is paper gold, okay? And they're supposed to have the gold behind it, but whatever. And then you can trade that back and forth, and they can liquidate you and all that good stuff. You can take massive positions. You can go 10x. You can put $100,000 up and buy $1 million worth of paper gold. Now, if they ever needed to cash all that gold in, of course, they probably wouldn't be able to, but who knows, right? Maybe they would be able to. But this way, you can open up massive shorts on the market, and you can keep the price of gold down while the central banks fill their bags with tons and tons of gold. Literally, tons and tons of gold. And then when they've had their fill and they've bought as much as they think they need or want or however that works, then they remove the shorts and they push up the market back where it should be, really. And should be is a relative term, I suppose. But gold, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Global Boost, these the blockchains, the old blockchains that are impossible to freeze, seize, or stop, that they can't inflate. Those are the ones that you want. And gold, silver, obviously they can mine them, okay, and they inflate, and then they can inflate them that way, but it's a little hard. So Grok had a prediction. Grok AI prediction of gold. I thought this was interesting. Saw this last night. 2 days ago. Grok AI predicts gold for 2024. Grok is, of course, Elon's AI that he's made. It's available on X. Gold has been trading in a consolidation range against the US dollar above the 2000 psychological resistance, looking for financial looking for financial insights. Finbold, which is the person who wrote this article, turned to Grok, an advanced artificial intelligence model created by xAI and Elon Musk's company. Notably, Grok thrives among AI models for its real-time scan capabilities on X, formerly Twitter, and providing up-to-date information. Its logical and unbiased algorithm provides valuable insight, like naming the ideal cryptocurrency for payments, etc. Grok on AI gold price range at the end of 2024. As for the most likely price of gold by the end of 2024, Grok AI believes the range between $2,100 and $2,400 per ounce. Based on the information provided by various sources, the most likely price range for gold at the end of 2024 is between $2,100 to $2,400 per ounce. Factors contributing to this range include the potential recession, the performance of the US dollar, and geopolitical tensions. In the meantime, Finbold asked Grok for the maximum gold price they could trade in 24 as a bullish case, and AI sees a yearly high of $2,800 per ounce. That's nearly a 50% move.
Right.
And your dollar is, I mean, I feel like they have to inflate it. I mean, they got to, these bills. So this $98 billion, that is almost, again, and I know it's supposed to be 1.6, but $98 billion is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Trump comes out the other day and he says, we shouldn't be giving this money away. This money should come with stipulations. We should be able to, it should be a loan. If these countries should have to pay it back, we shouldn't just be giving them money.
Right. Genius.
Lindsey Graham backed this one up. Of course, Lindsey Graham, I'm convinced that Lindsey Graham gets a lot of money for posting stuff on X. This looks like a paid post to me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Looks like a paid post to me. President Trump's idea on making the U.S. supplemental foreign aid a loan is spot on. Jesus. There's a video, though, I'm looking for here. Anyway. Maybe it wasn't a video. Maybe it was okay, I guess maybe it wasn't a video. From this point forward, are you listening? U.S. Senate ? This was February 10th, 2 days ago, before they passed it, I think. No money in the form of foreign aid. Yeah, it is before they passed it, because they passed it last night. So not only was the Super Bowl used as a cover to bomb the tent cities in Rafah, it was also used for the Senate to pass this $98 billion atrocity.
Yeah, who would think that they'd be working on a Sunday night
during the Super Bowl? I mean, that's, the Federal Reserve Act was also passed on a night like that. It was like Christmas Eve, Friday or something. Like, it was like, I don't know if it's Christmas Eve, but it was something like that. Late at night, passed it through. Our founding fathers specifically said no central bank. We were only supposed to use gold or silver as currency. No central bank. Here we are, couple hundred years later, in the mess. Trump says, from this point forward, are you listening, U.S. Senate? No money in the form of foreign aid should be given to any country unless it is done as a loan, not just a giveaway. It can be loaned on extraordinarily good terms, like no interest and an unlimited life, but a loan nevertheless. The deal should be contingent that the U.S. is helping you as a nation. But if the country we are helping ever turns against us or strikes it rich sometime in the future, and guys, Israel is very rich. One of the reasons is because we give them like $10 billion a year, $3.5 billion in military aid, and then all the other aid. Okay, they're very wealthy, very, very wealthy country. or strikes it rich sometime in the future, he says, the loan will be paid off and the money returned to the United States. We should never give money anymore without the hope of a payback or without strings attached. The United States of America should be stupid no longer.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting, and it looks like it makes sense.
Of course it makes sense. Well, guys, David, we've done it again. We're on a roll here. So we committed to these shows for 90 days. I think we're about, 45 days in or something like that?
Yeah, about 45 days or so.
We're about halfway through.
Yeah.
Awesome. It has been an absolute pleasure. We love being on your TV in Texas and Louisiana. We love the conversation back and forth. We love streaming on X and YouTube and all these other ones, LinkedIn. It's a lot of fun. If you guys want to talk to us, reach out to us. Signing off. We'll see you in the morning.
See you in the morning.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.